Welcome to the second episode of Magical Girl Adventures. The lunar eclipse is coming up on August 27th, 28th, depending on where you are, but it basically happens in the middle of the night. I will not be there consciously, but I guess that's fitting considering that it is in Pisces. So a lunar eclipse is basically a full moon. So it is about releases and letting go. Because it's an eclipse, you really shouldn't think about what it is that you want to let go specifically. Just do a letting go. So with the moon in Pisces, that means the sun is in Virgo, and both these signs have a self-sacrificial quality to them. Pisces, because it's like in March, Pisces season, I always kind of think of like the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Self-sacrifice I guess it's like quite dramatic, right? But with Virgo, it's really a lot of kind of that trope of codependency where like you're like a fixer-upper, and it basically this lunar eclipse is calling for you to stop that. Because right now, if you are not sleeping well, it is because you are doing too much. And whenever something is in the 12th house, I always think you don't realize what it is that you're doing. Same thing with the 6th house. You work at something every day and you don't really see the results until, you just kind of look up and see that everything's different. But day to day, everything felt the same. So it's kind of hard to see what's in front of you. And sometimes you think you're, not doing too much or like people can't function without you. But I kind of don't think you can see that they can see that you are running yourself into the ground. So if you've been really tired, you have not been able to sleep, take that as a cue to take some time to rest. Another interesting thing about the Virgo and Pisces axis is that I always see it as like the day-to-day office versus like your dreams, right? Are you doing your dream every single day? And if not, what is the belief in Pisces that is keeping you down in Virgo? Not that being Virgo is like quote unquote bad, but with the sun in Virgo being by the south node, that is like in this case, in this specific instance, we can grossly oversimplify it as like this is the bad thing that we need to overcome. So for me, it is the belief that I can't do like my hobbies as my work. This week, it's been really hard for me to go to sleep, and thus it's been really hard for me to go to work. So I kind of feel like it's my body saying, like, I need to take some time off to just do what it is that I enjoy. Like, I spent a lot of time sewing, and of course, I am making this video. So I kind of was forced to stay home, which I know like sounds funny, but I was so exhausted. Like, I really didn't think I could even drive. So let's get into the chart just to add a little bit more context. And for the most part, that is the TLDR. So you can see right here, this is where the lunar eclipse is, and you can see Mercury is by the sun. So that is when your mind and basically who you are one and the same. Sometimes you can have conflicting thoughts and beliefs. In this instance, what we think is who we are. And with Virgo, it is about filtering, it is about perfection, it is about making sure that your surroundings are safe. And that is something that we need to let go of. Because again, even though both signs, Pisces and Virgo, have a self-sacrificial quality to them, because the moon is by the north node, that's calling into leaning into your dreams, right? Your fantasies. And with the north node in Aquarius, you taking care of yourself is going to fill the cup of others. So Aquarius is the water bearer, which is kind of fitting with Pisces. So in order for the whatever jug to be full of water, you need to go to sleep. You need to think about yourself. You need to rest. You need to just trust that all the people that you quote unquote need to save or like keep from drowning, they're going to be fine. Now, there is a T-square with Uranus, which is the co-ruling planet of Aquarius. And Uranus is in Gemini, which one of the ruling signs of Gemini is, or I'm sorry, one of the ruling planets, blah, blah, blah. And the ruling planet of Gemini is Mercury, which Virgo also rules. So kind of it's all connected. In order for you to be able to share your thoughts and ideas that will help others, you just need to focus on yourself. And I know I always want to go back to just saying go to sleep, go to sleep. But Pisces is like the land of dreams. Like you need to rest, you need to spend time alone because in your mind, the reason why Pisces is self-imprisonment is because sometimes your situation is amazing, but you are a prisoner in your mind. You are born alone, you die alone, and really nobody else is in your head. But in order for you to share those ideas, you have to rest. You have to make sure you have to rest. And if you don't, I find sixth house, like Virgo, a lot of injuries can happen. So it's either you can rest voluntarily or be forced to, like how I was with my lack of sleep. Neptune and Saturn are in Aries right now. Neptune is ruled by Pisces. And then there is a Venus Saturn opposition. So I would say be careful of like your temper when like other people are trying to impose themselves on you. I think it's important to show yourself as an authority against people trying to be authorities like upon you. Don't lose your shit. It's also a good time to think about how you want the world to be or your world to be. Just don't be very specific with how you want it to happen. Just like I would just love to wake up and know that I have private sessions going on, or that I need to prep some cookies or work on a custom order for pillows. How I'm going to get there, I don't know, but that is like a dream. That is a comfort. That is a transformation that would be of some good to the world because, which I know like sounds weird because like, what does being self-employed have to do with that? But again, making your dreams into your day-to-day work. It's not like what I'm doing right now is really doing any good. With it being in Aries, there is a little bit of a selfish quality. But that's kind of the dichotomy of this lunar eclipse because Virgo is everyday work, Pisces is dreams, and Mars is in Cancer, which Aries rules Mars. I was going to say Aries rules Cancer. Aries rules Mars, and it's going to be trining the moon. So I think you're going to be quite motivated to want to retreat, think about what it is that you want, and not be afraid to be a little bit selfish because that's going to almost counterintuitively be beneficial to everybody else and then allow you to better serve other people. So that was all I have to say. If you would like to know how this lunar eclipse is going to affect you specifically, I do have tarot and astrology readings. If you'd like to book your reading with me, that information will be available below, and I will see you in 2 weeks.